Now it is my great pleasure to introduce our next speaker, who has always been there for veterans and veterans issues, and a key sponsor of the American Veterans Traveling Tribute, Vietnam Wall, Andre Carrier, Chief Operating Officer of the Eureka Casino Resort. Andre.
Thank you. Good morning. Mayor Ware, councilmen and women, our guests, veterans, men and women of Mesquite. On behalf of our family, and the men and women of our family business, the Eureka Casino Resort, we are honored to be included in this morning's memoriam and to be counted among the many patriots of our desert home. We're further pleased to have played a role in helping to bring this important healing wall to Mesquite. I want to begin by thanking the veterans who join us here today and thank their families who gave so much in the cause of freedom and in the name of service. This marks the second time that I've played a role in welcoming the wall here. And it's fair to say my heart and my mind has evolved since the first time. My boys are older now, and the men and women of our company are stronger now, and I expect more of myself. On the morning that we first welcomed the wall, I spoke of Abraham Lincoln, who in 1863 stood in a similar memorial service looking over the battlefield of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, when he noted, "We've come to dedicate a portion of this field as a final resting place for those who gave their lives so that a nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow these grounds. These brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, consecrated it far beyond our poor powers to add or detract." Lincoln pointed to the impossible void that a thankful nation simply can't fill for those who have given their lives in service to our country. But this morning, we try again to mourn, to remember, and to honor. We mourn, for we know this wall is filled with the names of firstborn sons, with mothers' memories of sons' first days of school and fathers' memories of high school football games. It is a wall that men and women who fought alongside these warriors came to search for something that cannot be found: peace and understanding. It is where they cried for their friends who would never celebrate a wedding day, a job promotion, or hold their son's hand on the first day of school. All of these things will happen again here in Mesquite over the next few days, and for all of those reasons, it is both easy and essential to honor those who have passed by serving those who survived. It is why our company serves the local veterans organizations and the Wounded Warrior Project. It is why my family started an organization called Christmas Can Cure that works to give families of severely disabled warriors an idyllic Christmas holiday. And it is why it is not enough. I am different today than I was the first time the wall came to Mesquite. I expect more of myself. On that morning years ago, I spoke of Lieutenant Colonel Richard Canstrip. God constructed Richard Canstrip perfectly for two purposes. The first purpose was to be a warrior. Lieutenant Colonel Canstrip of the 101st Airborne volunteered for 2 tours in Vietnam. An Army Ranger and a great leader, Lieutenant Colonel Canstrip was awarded the Bronze Star and 4 Army Commendation Medals, including the V device for valor in the face of the enemy. When his service led him into harm's way, his body was filled with shrapnel, and on his chest was pinned a Purple Heart. God constructed a great warrior. The second purpose Richard Canstrip was constructed for was no doubt to be a grandfather. He's just that kind of guy. Always joking with little kids and working to make them laugh. He loved history, visiting museums and national parks. He loved playing chess. Heck, he just liked to explain things in a way that kids can understand. Kids loved Colonel Canstrip, and he loved their energy, their curiosity, and their possibilities. It just turns out God's first purpose for Richard Canstrip trumped his second purpose. An acute myeloid leukemia, a disease reserved for Vietnam veterans like himself, came for him before he could meet his grandchildren. I was fortunate enough to do something for this soldier to please him before he died. I married his daughter, and I told him I would love and honor and care for her all the days of my life. Later today, I'll fulfill another commitment. I'll bring his grandsons to this wall, and I'll show them the names of the men and women that served with him. I will tell my sons what a great man their grandfather was, how he loved his troopers, and how he loves them. And I will tell them that there is work that needs to be done to honor his memory and the memory of those who survived him. I will tell them how their grandfather stood up for the needs of his troopers long after the time of the battlefield was over. I'll read to them the many letters he wrote to congressmen and senators pointing out that there needs to be work better done to serve the active duty servicemen and women. But more often those letters were about the needs of the men and women he served with in Vietnam. I think about the letter he would write right now, a time where more than 3.5 million disabled veterans are in this country, a time where there are more than 500,000 backlog claims at the Veterans Affairs Department, and where potentially as many as 200,000 of those claims are from Vietnam warriors he served with. At a time where 20,000 of those claims have been waiting for more than 2 years, so those servicemen could get the help they needed from the country and the government they served. I will remember those letters, and I'll expect more from myself. Whether or not my boys ever wear a uniform, I will raise them to fight for what is right, and what is right is for our country to serve expertly and completely the needs of those men and women who answered the call to serve in our country's protection and who fought for the advancement of liberty. It is what they must do to honor their grandfather. It is what they must do to honor the names on this wall. This cause too needs warriors. And until the very last man has the help they deserve, I will serve those who served. I will no longer serve quietly, but loudly, holding those with accountability accountable. And I will always encourage others to serve our warriors and our veterans with more than a bumper sticker, but with their hands and their minds as well as their heart. I'm a different man than when I came to this wall those years ago. I continue to be thankful and humble by our nation's veterans, but today I expect more of myself, and I intend to do more to serve those who have served. I hope others who come to this wall will feel the same. God bless you all and this great gift we have, the United States of America.